would you mind? Thank you. Well, good afternoon. We are really thrilled you're here. My name is Chelsea Fortin-Trimble, and I'm the department's Director of Policy and Government Affairs. Many of your names in the chat were familiar, but some of you are new, and so I want to ask you very briefly, please take a moment, place your name, your current role, and the district or school that you represent in the chat. We hope this will make it easier for you to ask questions as the session goes on this afternoon, but also allow you to connect with other leaders across the state. This afternoon's kickoff presentation signifies a pivotal change in the DOE's approach to providing professional learning for educational leaders statewide. Under Commissioner Makin's leadership, we have transitioned away from providing one-off professional learning sessions to providing a robust system of support that is available to Maine educators serving at the classroom, building, district, and state levels. What was once a program that was created to serve principals leading Title I school improvement schools has become a dynamic two-program systems working alongside one another to provide Maine educators with professional learning to ensure that they have the tools and the resources necessary to eliminate educational inequity in their local system. Maine DOE's current leadership development programs, of course, provide training, resources, and tools, but we also recognize that we don't do this alone. We have partners throughout the field, both system leaders as well as Maine educational leadership organizations that are providing meaningful support. And today we're going to focus on two programs. We're focusing on the Maine Leadership Development Program and the Transformational Leaders Network. We know as a department and as educational leaders that we must invest in our leaders because that's an essential lever in our collective work of eliminating educational inequity. Today, you're going to hear from current and past TLN participants and Maine LDP fellows. Those folks are also now serving as our facilitators because we believe it's important for you to be provided professional learning from folks that have been in the roles, have been through the programming, and have made it their own to facilitate and lead the next cohort of leaders. As you listen today, I hope you hear a lot about the long-term systemic change that these folks are doing at the local level and their commitment to expanding opportunities for their students. Both of these programs provide educational leaders the space and time to clarify their vision, engage in strategic planning, inventory skills and assets, receive targeted coaching from proven professionals and leaders in this field, strengthen and refine their leadership skills, and broaden professional networks. I hope today that this is a meaningful hour or so with all of us and that you have the space to ask the questions you have. We'll turn off the recording at the end of our presentation and we'll provide you with time to ask us any questions you may have. It could be anything from how was the experience for you when you were participating, or what did you really take away from this experience, and what should I expect? We're really delighted that you're here. For many of you that were not able to attend or will be late, this session is recorded, and so it will be posted on our Educational Leadership Opportunities webpage in about a week or so. I'm going to hand it over to my colleagues at the department.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Emily Dowdy. I am the Educator Effectiveness Coordinator at the Department of Education, and I've had the opportunity to attend a TLN session and know how important that work is for our principals. I also had the opportunity to participate in the Maine Leadership Development Program when we first started it in 2019 and went through the facilitator training and care so deeply about the work that we're doing. I'm so happy to be here today to see many familiar faces in the audience and look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cheryl Lang. I'm the ESEA Federal Programs Director. And like Emily and Chelsea, I couldn't be more excited to be here with you today. I've had the opportunity over the last year to oversee the TLN programming under the auspices of Tier 3 funding. So the schools that participated were specifically Tier 3 identified. We couldn't be more excited to expand this program so that all principals across the state can participate because we really feel the value of that and being able to grow the capacity. And we really look forward to providing that opportunity to you during the next school year. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Jeanette Kirk, our Chief of Learning Systems.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Kirk. I am going to be honest and open that my connection's unstable. I have 2 teenagers at home, so if I get disconnected, please excuse me. But I am the Chief of Learning Systems here at the Department of Education, and on that team resides ESEA Federal Programs, Assessment, our Standards and Instructional team, and our Career and Technical Education team. I am a past participant in the main LDP program and thoroughly enjoyed the program, so I'm excited to be here. I'm going to pass the baton to Shelley Chassie-Jondro.
Good afternoon, folks. As Jeanette mentioned, my name is Shelley Chassie-Jondro. I am the Office of Federal Emergency Relief Programs Director. So currently I am supporting schools with the federal relief funding that has been distributed to the department as a pass-through entity for our SAUs. I had the opportunity to be a participant of the main LDP last academic year and continue to support that work in a leadership role for this most recent cohort, and have new learnings every day as I sit in with the team through our conversations, but also most importantly through the work that we do on the 2-day sessions provided for our cohort. At this time, I'll pass it along to my colleague, Emily.
Wonderful, thank you. So I wanted to start off by just sharing some professional learning beliefs that really ground the work that we're doing at the department. We had the chance to come together, both the TLN and LDP facilitators, and really talk through what our vision is moving forward and how we've kind of transformed this work. So I'll give you a chance to just look that over. So as Chelsea mentioned, we really believe that professional learning needs to be something that is ongoing, that's sustainable, and that allows our leaders time to focus on the work that's most important. And that work is really around students. So we want to make sure that any professional learning that we're offering is really focused on those equitable opportunities for all students to achieve and be challenged by rigorous curricula. We believe that our professional learning really needs to be focused on ongoing continuous improvement that's really driven by your personal and professional growth areas and things that you want to take away from leadership development. It needs to be job embedded and responsive to the needs that you have in your school, in your district, in your classroom, and that there's time and space so that you'll have the opportunity to work on tasks that really directly impact your students. Finally, we really believe that the best learning comes from each other, that we have these amazing educators across our state who have this passion to support students, and we hear time and time again that the most meaningful learning is when we have a chance to connect with each other. So these are just a few of our beliefs, and we're thrilled to share those with you as we share a little bit more about each offering so that you'll have a chance to hear what might work best for you. So I'm going to turn it over to Fran, Gordon, and Steve to talk a little bit about the Transformational Leaders Network.
Thank you, Emily. I am Fran Farr. I am a main leadership coach. I also am a retired middle school principal and have been involved with the TLN for about 10 years. I'm going to talk a bit about what the TLN is all about. One of the greatest strengths of the TLN is its durability and reliability. This network is created as a playground and a proving ground and a safe and confidential place to practice and strengthen your leadership skills. The sessions are designed for you and with you. You'll explore the latest research, engage in robust and challenging conversations, and continually polish your craft. It's professional development at its best. You'll read and discuss leadership strategies to grow your own capacity, such as how to deal with difficult staff or how to develop a plan to move a school improvement initiative forward. And then you'll deliberately practice with your colleagues, put your approaches into action, and return to the TLN, ready to share your experiences with fellow administrators. You'll laugh at your blunders, make mid-course corrections, cheer your successes, and keep moving forward. I'm going to continue with this, but first I would think we should introduce Gordon and Steve, and then we'll go on to a slide about the TLN.
Hi, I'm Gordon Donaldson, and I've been working with the TLN now for the last 5 years or so, and I've been in the leadership development field for a long time. Retired from the University of Maine, where I was on the faculty there, as a number of you know, I guess. And I'm going to check with my co-facilitator, Fran. Now, Fran, should I go into the portion of the overview that I'm responsible for at this point, or? Yes, I can read Fran's lips. Okay, great. My task is to give you an overview of how the TLN learning experience is structured, and a number of the bullets on the slide that Emily ran through are kind of at the core of what TLN is about. But here's the basic outline. It is designed for school principals and focuses heavily on building level improvement. As you can see here, the idea is to have participants focus in two major ways. One on an improvement effort in their school. So people bring something that they're live and working on. And then the second level is the first half of that sentence, which is to focus their own leadership development around the tasks and challenges and successes that they're experiencing through the year as they lead that improvement effort. So this is the essence of job embedded professional development, essentially. The delivery and commitment, the cohort model uses two-hour virtual monthly sessions over, one of them maybe an hour and a half some of the time, over 8 months between October and May. And there are 3 in-person days, one at the outset to set up our work, one in the middle, and one at the end. Application deadline, August 24th. And I would just add a couple of things that Fran touched upon, that tying your learning to real challenges and real events and the realities of your school means that the curriculum in TLN is sort of from the inside out. We don't start with a bunch of literature, a bunch of books, or a bunch of articles, or a model of leadership that everybody needs to understand first. You start with where you are, and our job as facilitators is to support your learning as we go. And the major vehicle for that are small groups of 5 to 6 colleagues with a facilitator who meet every time we meet for the purpose of helping you understand and dig in deeper and find resources to relate to the challenges that you expect to be facing in the next couple of weeks. And that's how it goes. The continuity of it is really important through the entire year. So that's a little bit of our overview, and we're happy to answer questions when we get into breakouts, but I'll pass it on to Steve.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steve McDougall. I'm a retired high school principal. I have been working with the Maine Department of Education on school improvement and leadership when I retired back in 2008. So about 13 years doing the school improvement work and the leadership work. I, along with George Tucker, who some of you may know, we started the TLN back in 2010, really in response to the very clearly expressed need by principals that they felt isolated in their work, and that they needed to have some sort of tool or mechanism where they could connect with others in the field to share ideas, to brainstorm ways for bringing about school improvement. So we started back in 2010 when we were dealing with just 6 schools. and we've been expanding every year since then. And we will have some time, I know, later on in the breakout rooms to answer any questions that you may have or to provide you with any additional information should you need it. So with that, we'll switch gears and we'll go over to the main leadership development program. And I believe we'll start off with Angela Hardy. Or Sarah Woog.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Hi, my name is Sarah Woog. I'm so grateful to be here, and thank you for all of your time. Thank you for joining us and considering these opportunities. I was a member of the first cohort, the first leadership development program cohort last school year, and it was the most meaningful professional development in which I've ever engaged. And it meant to me that I wanted to be a facilitator, that I wanted to help support this work moving forward. So I'm grateful to be here as a facilitator, but also to share my perspective as a former participant. I don't believe Angela is with us, but I did see Marie. So Marie would like to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marie Robinson. I am a superintendent and elementary principal at RSU 89. I've had the good fortune to be a part of both the Transformational Leaders Network as well as the main leadership development. Shout out to Steve, who helped me navigate my first year in the state of Maine. I moved here from Pennsylvania, and in Pennsylvania, principal certification requires that the NISL program, which is Maine Leadership Development. So once I heard, and I had transitioned in the midst of that. So once I heard that was coming, and I knew I had little bits of it in Pennsylvania, I really jumped on the opportunity because, just as Sarah said, the Maine Leadership Development is very, very meaningful in terms of professional learning. And it really has a strong sequence that makes sense, and I think can provide a strong foundation for us moving forward as building leaders to maintain the focus on what's important, knowing the background and the why. The Transformational Leaders Network was integral for me to develop a cohort of other administrators who I felt comfortable talking with, because again, I was new to the state, but within your own district, it's hard sometimes to confide in people and really feel like you can share kind of the ins and outs of the challenges that you're facing. And establishing that Transformational Leaders Network, those small cohorts, really provided that opportunity. I remember the consultancy protocols, going through the problem solving, and really it really helped me to take a step back and look at my leadership skills differently and recognize where my areas of need were. And then I was able to learn from that team that was developed there. So I'm very happy to be here. And I'm also a facilitator for the Maine Leadership Development. And I'm excited to be able to share this work. I think it's so, so important for the public schools of Maine. I'm not sure who I'm giving it to because I didn't get that information. So whoever's next.
I'll lead this, Marie, and welcome your interruptions. So the leadership development program, as compared to the TLN, we have educational leaders from different diverse positions and backgrounds. We currently have a school board member, we have guidance counselors, teacher leaders, building principals, superintendent, curriculum coordinator. So we take the broad view of leaders in education and welcome many different people from different backgrounds, geographic regions, and job titles to engage in this, in the leadership development program. It's a cohort model, so we kind of travel through the material together, up to 25 people, I believe. And we meet for 2 full days a month, and those are full days. Those are 8:30 to 3:30. When we transition to virtual, that schedule did not change. I believe it's our hope to blend it a little bit next year, but you really immerse yourselves in the materials and in some fun thinking and idea development and strategic planning with this great cohort of colleagues for 2 full days a month. a couple points that I think are also important for you to know about leadership development program is that those who complete the program are eligible for doctoral credits through the University of Maine at Orono. And that was something that I took advantage of and is kind of a nice a little push if you're kind of leaning towards the next step in your graduate education as well. So that's a really cool part of the program. Another thing that's a lot of fun is that the content is really diverse. So we have case studies that are outside of education. We have a lot of reading that has to do with how teams work and not explicitly in education. And I just want to share the best part of the program. The massive gift that you receive at the beginning. And it's really fun to get your messenger bag of 10 to 12 books really, and kind of see the depth of content that you'll experience over the next year. So it's rigorous curriculum. It's challenging at times, requires some pre-work, and it is as rewarding as it can be cumbersome. I don't know if I covered it all, Marie. If you have anything to add. Very good. Okay. So a little bit more about the curriculum, about what we do together is that it's divided into 3 units. And we kind of start with a global perspective and try to understand the urgency around enacting systemic change in our systems. So we explore high-performing models, educational models throughout the globe, and kind of understand where we currently are and the urgency around moving forward and thinking about systems change in our current work, in our current contexts. And then we really dive deep into teaching and learning, the what, the how, the why, what we should be looking for in classrooms, how to celebrate the diverse backgrounds of our students, how to ensure that we provide equitable opportunities for high quality instruction and learning. So we also talk about not only how we teach and learn with our students, but also about adults learning. So the professional development that we're providing in our own contexts. And then the last unit is about, as we learn what the need is in our context, and then we think about how to meet the need. Now we're just going to say, well, how do you do all of this? So we engage in strategic problem solving, and we think about increasing the capacity, shared leadership models, and how to build highly effective, transformative leadership teams. I think I have one quote that I put to the side that we got from some feedback from a participant that I want to read to you, because I think it expresses perfectly kind of the arc of learning that people experience when they participate in the leadership development program. They said, the content as well as the delivery were incredibly informative and helpful, and the training had an arc that began with emphasizing the importance of high standards of achievement for all students, through how people learn best, through content-specific criteria for learning, and culminating with how administrative leadership can work to promote and sustain transformational improvements. So that was just a really well-written summary of what I said about that slide. So this quote I won't read to you. Were you gonna say something, Emily?
Similar to the TLN, we also gather participant feedback, so we wanted to share a few quotes as well. We'll give you a moment just to take a look at these items. It helps you put the context into a frame of mind for you folks, what participants are receiving from the program and sort of the delivery model.
Thank you, Shelley. And Emily, I believe that is our final slide before we begin to take questions. So just to recap, both programs, the application is open now and the deadline is August 24th. We will be reviewing the applications as they come in. Some things we're looking for are a clear idea of what you're looking to improve, work on, why this program will be beneficial to you, and also that you have the support of your supervisor. One of the things that we've learned over the years working in school improvement and having folks be engaged in this work is that when they have the support of their supervisor, they then are given the autonomy to make impactful change for students. And so those are the two things we're really looking for. Additionally, if you have questions that were not answered today after we do our breakouts, feel free to email any of us on this call. We'll put our emails in the chat. And then lastly, we are going to break out into groups. And if you know that you would like to talk to someone about the TLN, please rename yourself and add the letter T to your name. And if you know that you would like to talk about the main LDP, please rename yourself and add the letter L to the beginning of your name. And if you've listened for the past 40 minutes or so and still think both seem very intriguing and you haven't made a decision, please do not change your name at all, and you will be left in the main room and we'll answer questions and have a conversation. We will be breaking for the day in our groups. So I want to say thank you so much for the tremendous work you're doing for our students and for faring this very, very hot weather today. We're glad you're here, and we can't wait to see you again next fall in one of the many programs being offered by the Maine Department of Education and our educational leaders across the state. We'll see you soon.